Good morning, you guys. It's Saturday morning. Welcome back to the channel if you are a subscriber already, or welcome if you are new. So excited to have you here. We are doing kind of a recap of my experience from weeks 2 through 4 on Zepbound. I'm clumping them all into one video because my initial plan for doing kind of like a weekly update fell through the cracks for the past few weeks because of some circumstances. So for week 2 on Zepbound, I was in Canada the entire week, and I wanted to just really focus on my experience with my family and really just have a good time and not really worry about like filming updates or anything like that. And then what ended up happening was my second to last day in Canada, I got super sick. I had a fever. I was so like out of it. I just was struggling. It was rough. And then I came back and I had to work we came back on a Wednesday, I had Thursday, and then I had to work on Friday. And basically what happened was like I just continued to be sick and I never really fully recovered, and I just felt like utter crap for basically the next week. So I'm finally starting to feel better. Yesterday, obviously it was Friday, and I finally started to feel like, okay, I have some energy back. I have like my pep back. I'm ready to, you know, just continue on with my life basically. So yeah, I wanted to do just kind of like a sit down chatty moment before getting into the rest of the vlog, because I wanted to just recap how I felt on weeks 2 and 3 on Zepbound. So week 2, like I said, was when I was in Canada. Week 3 was when I got back and I was just feeling really crummy. So week 2, I took the shot right before I left for Canada. I took it on a Friday. We left for Canada on Saturday. And basically the whole week I felt like I had really good hunger control. I could go from eating like something relatively light in the morning for breakfast, and then we would be doing stuff all day like hiking, exploring, kayaking, whatever, and I wouldn't really feel hungry until like the mid-afternoon, like around 3, 4, sometimes even like 5 o'clock. So I definitely felt like my hunger was satiated throughout the entire trip, which was just like really amazing because I felt like I had really good kind of control and awareness of when I was hungry and when I wasn't. And that doesn't always happen to me on vacation. I feel like a lot of people on vacation, they like want to eat all the stuff and they want to like explore everything and try all the things because they're somewhere new. And I still had the desire to do that, but not to the extent that I normally do. Like I felt like I could control trying like something small or splitting something, and then I knew when to stop. So it was great. I loved it. It was fantastic. It was like just a perfect feeling, a perfect balance for me. Then when I ended up getting sick, I had like very little appetite at all, as you would expect. And then the following week, so now we're kind of getting into week 3 on Zepbound, I was like so hungry. I don't know if I'm kind of wondering if I injected the shot wrong, because for whatever reason, I do it in my stomach. I'm pointing to my stomach. I do it in my stomach every week, like they tell you to do. And I pinched like my stomach and then I injected the shot. And I noticed that when I let go, like some clear liquid came out of my stomach. So I don't feel like I fully injected everything into me. And I feel like I did it wrong. So I'm never doing it that way again, because I'm worried that it wasn't super, like, I don't know if that's accurate or not, but like I don't know if everything got in there. And I noticed throughout the week, like I was always kind of like looking for something to eat, especially in the afternoon. In the morning, I felt like I had pretty good control over my hunger. And sometimes I was not hungry like at all, like not even for coffee, which is never like me. I am always ready for a coffee, especially when I first wake up in the morning, and my protein coffees and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, it just didn't sound good. And I don't know if that had a little bit to do with like some residual sickness or something like that. I don't know, but I just didn't really feel like eating until around like 10 a.m. And then I would pack a little snack for 10 a.m. and then I would have lunch either at a break that I have around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or I would eat my lunch still at my normal time, like around 1 or 2. I just noticed like I was thinking about food a little bit more. I was like reaching for stuff that wasn't always super healthy. I had cravings. Like I have not had like a craving for something since I've started Zepbound, and I had more of those this week. So I don't know what happened. It was just weird. I do think some of it was from the sickness and the way I injected it. So I don't know. Variables. We don't really know. So that's kind of the recap for week 2 and 3. I did just do my 4th injection yesterday night. I always take mine, or I inject it on Friday nights. And I noticed, like, right after I injected it, I had a really good dinner. I made Brussels sprouts, I had rice, and then I made a fillet of tilapia, and that like satiated me. It was perfect. It was like just over 400 calories, had 30 grams plus of protein. It was fantastic. It was such a great meal. I'm definitely gonna do that again. I ate my dinner, and then I didn't have another like craving for any kind of food at all for the rest of the night. So I just went to bed, and it was great. This time I just injected it straight into my stomach. I didn't pinch my skin or anything like that. And I didn't have any bleeding or any liquid coming out after it. So I thought that was a good sign. But yeah, I haven't had any cravings or any like extreme hunger or anything like that this morning. I wouldn't say it was a taste, but I felt like I could drink coffee again and it wouldn't repulse me. Like yesterday, I didn't even put protein in my coffee, which is not typically something I skip ever. Like I think I've been putting protein in my coffee now for at least a year and a half, and I've like never skipped a day unless I'm like on vacation or something. And it never sounds gross to me, but for whatever reason last week it sounded really gross. I was still kind of forcing myself to drink it because I needed protein, and that's something I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. But I couldn't do it yesterday. I just had like normal coffee with milk in it, and that was it. I have noticed, because I've been eating less just in general, and I'm gonna try to do a better job of tracking it. For the past like 2 weeks especially, I have not tracked anything that I ate. I was tracking it the first week that I was on Zepbound, and I was averaging like 1,000 to 1,500 calories depending on the day. But I did notice that my protein intake was pretty low for me, but it wasn't in accordance with how many calories I was eating. So I do think I could do a better job of trying to hit more around 100 grams of protein a day, because I do think I've been mostly hitting around like 70 to 80 grams, which, you know, that's not terrible by any means, especially when you're trying to lose weight and stuff like that. But for me, I just feel like I notice when I don't have enough protein, and I like am sluggish and I feel weak, and I don't like that feeling. And these kind of medications can cause muscle loss and weakness, not like extreme weakness or anything like that, but you can get some muscle atrophy, not severe or anything, but I just want to make sure that I try to minimize that as much as possible. So I am going to try to do better about hitting more around the 100 gram range of protein. I do not think it's realistic for me, if I'm only eating like 1,200 calories a day, to expect myself to eat 130 grams of protein. Like, that's way too much. I mean, I would like only have to be consuming protein basically throughout the day. And before anyone says like 1,200 calories is too low, this is just what happens when you're on Zepbound. If you have more of an appetite, that's totally fine. But for some people, I mean, you get the weight loss because of the calorie deficit. And the other thing is you just don't feel hungry. So if I feel hungry, I'm listening to hunger cues, but I'm also trying to relearn like what a hunger cue is, because my system has been so jacked up for so long. So I'm trying to really like just eat when I'm hungry and not necessarily eat if I'm not hungry. So that's where I'm at with that. I have still been on 2.5 milligrams of Zepbound for the first 4 weeks, and they do that to kind of titrate you up to the full dose, because it can cause some stomach problems, which I definitely experienced the first week, but I have not had those issues since. So that was kind of like a first week situation for me, and I've been feeling totally fine since then. So except for nausea, I still occasionally, especially like in the mornings, I'll get kind of nauseous, but that usually goes away after I drink water or coffee or something like that. So my next dose, which is next Friday, because you take it once a week, my next dose will be at 5 milligrams, and then I'll be on that for, I think, another 4 weeks, and then I'll be up to the highest dose after that of 7.5. So I'm curious to see what the increase of the dose is gonna do to me in terms of symptom-wise. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be a little bit more, like if my stomach's gonna be a little bit more irritated or what, I'm not quite sure, but I'm excited to find out. When I last updated you guys as well, I had lost, it was either 6 or 7 pounds, I can't remember exactly. I think it was around there. I have kind of fluctuated with losing up to 10 pounds and then kind of going up to 8 pounds. So I've fluctuated a little bit on the weight loss. My maximum that I had so far was 10 pounds, and I've been like around the 10-pound range since then. So I lost like 5 pounds in the first week, 3 pounds or 2 to 3 pounds the second week, and then third and fourth I've been at like 2 pounds of weight loss. So again, I think part of that was travel, part of it was that I got sick. So I'm not super concerned about it, and my doctor even told me that most people don't lose any weight in the first month. So I'm just excited that I actually have some weight loss already, and I do feel a difference. Like, I notice right now I'm a little poofy, but like my inflammation in my body, I feel like, has just gone down significantly. I don't feel as like bloated or uncomfortable as I used to, and I have noticed just like a general kind of like thinning out or leaning out in my body, especially like in my face, my neck, my abdomen, and even my legs. Like, my legs look more lean and stuff like that. So, and that's just from 10 pounds, which I'm just like so excited to see what happens later on and how I'm going to look, because this has been a long 4 years of just like not really knowing what was going on and not having any success with anything. And to feel like I finally am like getting somewhere with the diagnosis of sleep apnea, and then being able to go on this medication just feels like a life-changing time for me, and I'm really excited about it. So we do have a wedding tonight for some of our good friends from college, so we're gonna be going to that. I did do some exercise while I was in Canada, but I have not exercised since then because of how horrible I've been feeling. So this sickness like really just kicked the snot out of me. I don't really get sick all that often, like the way I was sick this time with a fever and just like feeling awful, and it really just like kicked me in the shins, you know. But I felt really good while I was exercising in Canada. We did some kayaking, hiking, lots of walking, stuff like that. I want to do some form of exercise today, but I'm trying to just do more gentle exercise and nothing too crazy. I've been dealing with like a back issue for a couple months at this point, and every time I weightlift, unless it's just like my arms, it hurts really bad. I think I have a pinched nerve in my back, so I'm trying to do some just like more rehab stuff. I am a physical therapist, but I suck at doing my home exercise program. So I'm going to be really diligent about actually doing my exercise program. I need to do some of that rehab, and then I just want to go for a walk. Maybe if I'm feeling up to it, I'll add a little bit of like jogs in there, like 2 minutes walk, 1 minute run or something like that, because I really need to work on my cardiovascular fitness. Okay, I just finished 30 minutes on the treadmill. I did a 2-minute walk, 2-minute run throughout the entire 30 minutes. My back did start to bother me a little bit. It's always my right side, like kind of up my back and into my butt cheek, and then it goes down my leg. So it's definitely like a pinched nerve type thing. So I'm gonna do some PT exercises for it just to try to calm it down a little bit. And then, there's a bug. And then I really need to stretch a little bit, especially like my Achilles. I tend to get some tendonitis in my Achilles when I start increasing my mileage. So I'm really gonna try to prevent that from happening. Stretch and strengthen, that helps the most with Achilles tendonitis, especially the strengthening part, don't forget it. So I'm gonna do a little bit of that, Mia, and probably some glute strength too, maybe just like 20 minutes or so. I am done with my workout now. That felt so good. It just like felt really good to move my body in a way that wasn't super strenuous. You know, it was like a good level for me, which was great. I'm gonna make some lunch. I really feel like a skillet type lunch today, so I think I'm gonna do some potatoes, some eggs, and a veg of some kind. So let's get cooking because I need to get ready. Okay, here's the lunch. Here's the macros for this entire thing, which are 210 grams of potatoes, orange bell peppers are 117 grams, 2 eggs, and 4 ounces of Jennie-O lean ground turkey. And the carbs are 38 grams, fat is 18, and protein is 38 grams. So I'm just going to eat until I'm full, and then we'll see how much is left. But, oh, and the total calorie, which I didn't say before, is 476 calories. So I'm gonna eat this, and then we'll get ready for the wedding. It's the next day. We ended up having a really good time at the wedding, but the getting ready process, I was running a little bit late, so I didn't really film any of that. That breakfast, or I guess technically it was my lunch, egg dish that I had, so good, and I ate the entire thing, and I was satiated until dinner time. Like, I didn't really eat any of the appetizers or anything that they had out. I just had dinner, and there was a salad, a little bread roll, some meats and stuff. It was really good. Anyways, we had a great time. This morning I woke up feeling fine, except that, again, I really don't want my protein coffee. Like, I want coffee, but I do not want my protein coffee. And I think that the thing is like the texture of it. So protein coffee is a little bit thicker than normal coffee, depending on how you make it and stuff. And the other problem I'm having is that we're out of milk. So we have chocolate milk, but not regular milk. So I think what I'm gonna do is just brew myself some shots of espresso. And then we do have like a little bit of sugar-free Chobani, like sweet creamer that I might add to it just so I get some coffee, and then I'll do a protein coffee or like a Pink Burst clear protein drink later on in the day. some of the salted caramel skinny syrup for a drizzle just on the side of the rim of the cup. This has 0 grams of sugar. That needs a little bit of water. This wasn't exactly what I had in mind for my morning coffee, but it's fine. I wish I could have added milk instead of water because I feel like milk just adds a good balance to the flavor of the coffee, whereas water just kind of like waters it down, you know? I know I'm getting into like the details of coffee, but I really enjoy my coffee. And my family is we're kind of coffee snobs, if you will, but in like the nicest way possible. At least that's what I like to think. But you know what? We're gonna drink it. It's fine. This is the creamer I used. It's the Chobani Sweet Cream Zero Sugar. I don't prefer this one, if I'm being totally honest. I initially started buying that creamer because of everything that was happening with my sleep apnea symptoms. So one thing I forgot to mention before was that one of the symptoms that I had with sleep apnea was that I was starting to get pre-diabetic. So I technically wasn't totally pre-diabetic, but I was like just before pre-diabetes. So I was trying to do a lot of things like zero sugar, sugar substitutes, that kind of thing. And I generally like most of the sugar substitutes. I don't think, like, they don't irritate my stomach. I know there's conflicting evidence about if it's beneficial for you or if there's more negative side effects. For me, I don't eat them in excess, so I feel like, you know, if I have some in my creamer or if I'm making like a banana bread or something that I make once a month or once every other month, then it's fine. I don't really like the taste of the zero sugar one because I feel like it's so overpoweringly sweet. Like, it's like unnaturally sweet, which it is. It's 100% unnaturally sweetened, but at least I think that one is. Maybe it's made with stevia, I don't know. Anywho, tangents over. Long story short, I prefer the other Chobani creamers. They are definitely my favorite creamers. I feel like they just taste the best and the flavors of them are the best, except the zero sugar one. So it's not good. It's not good at all. While I'm here, I'm just gonna do a quick little update on kind of how I'm feeling after I took my 4th injection. Let's see, that was like not 2 full days ago, Friday night. It's Sunday morning. I don't feel any like nausea, upset stomach, nothing. I don't have any like constipation or diarrhea, nothing like that. The only thing is that I'm just not wanting my protein coffee. That's literally the only symptom that I can think of that's different from what I felt like before. So that's it. That's all I have. Good morning, guys. It is Saturday, so the end of the week. I just want to give a little recap because I know I didn't like film at all during my work week, and that is because I felt so awful this entire week. I was so incredibly tired. Like, I have never felt fatigue like I felt this week. It was an insane level of tiredness. It was a really rough week, and I don't think any of that was because of my Zepbound treatment. I think it's because of my sleep apnea. I think for whatever reason this week my sleep apnea was just horrible, and I do think some of it is related to the fact that I had like an anaphylactic reaction from my last injection and I didn't really realize it at the time. I was having more trouble breathing than I normally am because of what was happening with my allergy injections. So it's just becoming really difficult to pinpoint like what symptoms are from what cause. But in general, I don't feel like any of this has been from the Zepbound, because typically my Zepbound symptoms have been like nausea, bloating, just like not feeling well in my belly. I haven't felt really anything else apart from that. So yeah, it was just really rough. I basically would go to work, come home, and like immediately fall asleep. Anyways, I just wanted to like come on here and like close the week because I feel like on Monday I had a really good day, and then it just kind of went downhill from there, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I just wanted to come and kind of like finish up the week and let you guys know how everything went. I hope you guys had a really great week and that you are enjoying your weekend. I did just take my next dose of Zepbound, so I'm up to 5 milligrams now instead of 2.5. I was at 2.5 milligrams for a month, so now I am on to my 5th week, and I have lost a total of 12 pounds already, so I am super excited about that. I feel really good about it. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this next increase of the dosing does to my body and does to me and my spirits and just like my hunger and everything like that. So come back next week and I will tell you all about it. I love you guys. Goodbye.